host, Jamie Butler, the Everyday Medium, and we are live today on Facebook. Hi, everybody! And this is the Ursula Lentine here with us again, and she's going to talk to us about relationships and all its parts. And can you believe my first question was, hey, Ursula, what happened to Ken's hair?
I didn't cut his hair.
I thought she cut his hair.
No, not me. It came that way.
That's a bad haircut, Ken.
Yeah.
Hey, Mattel, we need to work on that.
Please.
Please. Men look better than that these
Might.
days. Yeah.
The body's nice, but he can do better with the hair.
I wasn't complaining about his body, was I?
No one's complaining about his body. I think they had 3-year-olds help. Perhaps.
Just
I
line
don't
him
know.
up with some scissors.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Her, of course, is gorgeous. Like, you can't have Barbie without excellent hair.
No, you can't.
It's not allowed. That's
All right, before we dive into
Yes.
their parts and what's going on in relationships, I do have some housekeeping notes. Some great stuff headed our way. First thing, January 26th, the day before my birthday, is the free screening of the movie that we just did. We didn't just do. I was thankfully a part of the creative play of consciousness. It's going to be at the Center for Love and Light. If you guys are local and want to come see it, get on jamiebutlermedium.com first. You reserve your ticket and come show up. Bring your own pillow and popcorn, because a movie ain't a movie without popcorn. That's just how I feel. And then we have some give backs going on, and that happens with our Love and Light Institute. That's our nonprofit here, where we provide classes to the public and online. We're going to learn it live on. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Learn it live on?
Yeah, Learn
Nice.
It Live is the learning platform that's online, and it records it, so you can always go back to it. But we're trying to get this content out there as much as possible. So our nonprofit is going to make sure that happens by recording them. But if you are here, Ursula Lentine has one tonight.
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 It's called Emotions, the Nature of Emotions, and it's understanding emotions, how they work from a spiritual point of view, how the emotions kind of take over our lives if we let them, and how not to let them, but work with them, not against them. Lots of information.
That is a lot of information to get in one night.
Sure.
I'm going to be full. I'm actually doing a give back as well, but that is February 9th, and that is about what is intuition and what is imagination. So the whole evening is going to be kind of pitting these things together, intuition and imagination, and seeing what is what. So if that's on your mind, then come on by February 9th. These events at the Love and Light Institute can be found on Eventbrite. You can head over there, and we'll be sure to post the links underneath the video. And what else do we have rolling? We have a public channeling on Friday, February 17th. That's at the Center for Love and Light. That's where I channel spirits, especially Maitland and Grace come in, and we have a guest speaker, and they're going to be talking about how to undo the knots. And there's a lot more to be explained, but that's on our website, Jamie Butler Medium. Okay, I am biting at the bit. This is the first time, Ursula, that I've ever had somebody show up with the show with props.
It's not props. These are characters. These are parts of ourselves.
Really?
They're real.
What does it mean if I'm really digging the giraffe? Does it say anything?
No, I
Nope.
don't know. Because they're interactive. They change. So they change roles. They're like
change
actors.
roles?
Yeah, they change roles.
This is so much fun. So first of all, but just before we dive,
I don't know about this.
I'm ready to get into this. But Lumineers, if this is the first time you've seen Ursula Lentine, we do have other episodes with her on Vimeo On Demand, the Lighter Side Show, where Ursula talks about all kinds of ancestral, wonderful connections, family, and Ursula is a minister of the healing arts. She does private consultations. You can find that through her Facebook and your website.
Which is simply UrsulaLentine.com.
Who else has that? No one. So it was clearly made for you. Okay, now, introduce us, Ursula. What's going down?
Okay, so we are complex people. We think we're just simple, plain old me. But no. There are so many layers to us that it's mind-boggling. So we're just going to break it down a little bit.
Okay.
So there's our true self, which is our godlike, our Christ consciousness, our Buddha nature, the child of God, whatever you want to call it, that's our true self. We're pretty clueless as to what that is, but it's there. It's the premise of everything.
Can you watching my wheels going? I'm like, oh, what is mine? What am I calling
See?
it? Probably child of something. I think that would fit closest.
You're a Lumineer.
I'm a Lumineer.
So you're shedding the light that is the light of life.
That's
She's a life lighter, Lumineer-ish kind of girl.
I love it.
So there's our true self, which we, barely know, and there it is. The path of the spiritual path is of purification, basically. So it's to take off all of the layers that are covering up our true self.
Like Ken just did. He's without his shirt.
He
so
doesn't
he's
have
one
much
layer
clothes on
down.
either. They are. They have underwear printed on their bodies.
Is he wearing a watch?
He's wearing a watch. She's got sunglasses.
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
She's got
And
earrings.
and he's sporting a lipstick kiss on his cheek.
Oh my God.
Anyway, so I just wanted a simple Ken and Barbie, and that's them. So the deal is there's our true self, and then there's who we think we are.
Right, the projection of.
There's a bunch of programming that's been put on us. So, you're stupid, you're not good enough, you're beautiful, more beautiful than all the other people in the whole wide world. Whatever our illusion is of who we think we are. And then there's who other people think we are, that we think that they think we are, but they could not think that that's what we are.
Are you with us?
I got it.
I think Dr. Seuss just walked in here. Channeled through Ursula. Do it one more time.
Okay. So there's our true self.
True self, and then there's who
True
we
self.
think we are.
Then there's who we think we are. So say she thinks she's this person. Okay, this is her perception of herself.
Is that a cougar? No, it's a lion, but it would have been great.
It's a lion, but this is a panther. This is my favorite one. Anyway, and then she thinks, let's see, she thinks that he thinks that she's this. But really, that's not true. He thinks she's this. Right? So now she's having this, before she even said hello to this guy, she's got this whole thing going on. Who she thinks she is, who she thinks he is, and who he really thinks she is.
Okay, so the lion is who she thinks he thinks she is.
That's right.
All right, and then that's really who
What
he thinks she is.
You got it. You see, it's simple, but it's quite complicated when you break it down.
But seriously, all that language is going on in the background. It's running.
That's right, for sure. Running loudly.
It requires a lot of power and energy.
Oh
to
my
exist.
God! If you go to bed tired and you really didn't do anything all that, just becoming aware of this could be exhausting.
Really?
Yes, because then you're like, okay, who am I speaking from? Am I talking from this point of view? Am I talking from this point of view? I don't even know what this point of view is. So it gets really complicated. Let me break it down for you, okay? I got a little scenario to show you how this works in everyday life, because we're talking about spirituality in everyday life.
Every day.
So
That's
our
you and I,
first
guys.
example is they're in a relationship, and
Is it a good one? Do we need to know any backstory?
well, they're in a relationship, say 5-7 years, somewhere around there, right? So they know each other well, they think, because there's all these parts going on. So you think you know your person, right? Say someone has an affair after 15 years of being together. The person who's been in the dark about this affair is blown away because they never thought that person was capable of doing that. Yeah. Because they're like, who had that affair? Like, that's not my guy. But then he went and had an affair, so she doesn't even know that part of him that had that whole affair. So we never really know all the parts, of ourselves, much less somebody else, even our partners.
Is it achievable?
With a lot of communication and a lot of self-honesty. And that's the path of purification. So as we go on the path of purification, our spiritual path that you're on, that I'm on, that most of our people are interested in all of this crazy stuff that we talk about.
Yes, please.
It's about getting honest with ourselves and seeing the lies we're telling ourselves. Like that whole not good enough thing.
Yeah.
Everybody. I think everyone's got it somewhere tucked in some pocket behind our back. Just like, yeah, we don't look at that. I said, I'm fine. I'm great. Yep, me, good.
Stronger than ever.
Yes. So once we kind of take a look at that and own it and be with it, then we start moving through and discovering all the parts of us. And what happens, unfortunately, is some of these parts hold us back from being our best self.
Oh, it can work in the opposite?
Yes. So good, bad, ugly, that's how they all show up. So here's our first scenario. They're in a relationship, say 6 years to average it out. They think they know each other. She gains 5 pounds.
What?
10. Let's make it 10. She gains 10 pounds. Barbie, 10 pounds.
She's ruined. She'll never work in this town again.
That's what she thinks. She thinks she is the ugly person.
Oh.
She's gained 10 pounds and she feels ugly. So now she's worried that he thinks that she's no longer attractive. So she's convinced that he thinks that she's ugly, because she knows she's ugly, but she thinks that he thinks she's ugly. And he thinks that she's still a hot babe. She doesn't know that he thinks she's still a hot babe, because he's like, she's a hot babe. I think this girl is sexy. She's my girl. She's my lady. I love her. So then her low self-esteem comes around and just drags her down. And it's just behind her all the time, lurking, 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 lurking. You suck. You're ugly. You're washed up. You're going to be divorced and on the streets in no time at all. So then her protective side's like, no, we're not going to let that happen.
Yeah.
I'm going to take care of you.
Go, Tiger.
Ken, you suck. Ken, you're not good enough for me. I'm this great person and you're not good. And she starts criticizing him. Men, how many times does your lady criticize you and you're like, what? I'm doing the same thing that I've done for years and now all of a sudden none of it's good enough? None of it's, why are you so unhappy with me? Guess what, fellas? She's got this whole thing going on here. She's cooking into a whole stew of feelings and emotions that she's not bothered to communicate. Remember I said communication?
Was the key. Yes.
And she's not. These guys are communicating with her in her head, driving her crazy.
Yeah,
so
she's
she goes
carrying a
on
lot of animals.
shopping sprees. And he's like, why is my lady buying so much things? Like, what's the matter with her? So he starts feeling weird. He's like, I feel weird. Like, she's not being my girl anymore. She's so hot, but she's acting a little funky. I can't get to her. And I say, sweetheart, what's the matter? And she's like, rah! He has no idea she's feeling fat and ugly because she gained 10 pounds. She's like, you think I'm ugly? He's like, no, I think you're hot. And she's like, he's lying. Hear her insecure. She's lying. He's lying. He's got some other woman. He's just trying to tell me some story. He just wants sex. It's not true. And he's like, wow, I'm not feeling okay. So he starts pulling away. And then everybody's like, rah, 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 rah. They start driving her crazy. And she's starting to have a meltdown. Again, not bothering to communicate. Do you see how this works?
Absolutely. Can I just pause for a second?
Thank you.
That was the best visualization. I am such a visual learner. This was fantastic.
Yes.
But see, with all the voices going on, with all the different perspectives in her own head, there was nothing there that ever suggested to talk to somebody else or to ask for clarity or to
because
ask if...
our ego says, oh, you got this. You got this. It'll all sort itself out. You got this. Don't let him know this because he'll leave you. So her fears are bringing her down,
Wait.
muting us.
So did that story get... Where did she get that?
Because she
Where did it
gained
come
10 pounds.
No, yeah, well, I put on 20 pounds in the last 2 years. And I'm still sporting the tiny bikini for my man. And he
There you
likes
go.
it.
There you
But,
go.
So
see? You just
different,
think she's hot.
different, stories.
Right.
But she automatically
Okay,
was
so
trained
now
to
we're
shut up.
Now
Where'd
we're
that
digging.
come from?
That's right.
Yeah.
See, I'm glad you're asking these questions because now in the subconscious, all of this, mind you, is going on in the subconscious. So there's layers. Remember I said layers?
Yeah.
So many layers.
Did you bring an onion to show that?
Right, so
What else
under
is
the table, under the table, there's another storyline that says skinny is beautiful. Society, right? Magazines, all the nonsense.
Oh, yeah.
They're airbrushed, like, and those poor girls are anorexic. They're not healthy. They're gonna shrivel anyway. So, skinny is sexy. That's been the programming. It's not true. Go to any art museum that has historic art, and you will see voluptuous, shapely women that were hot.
You will see this.
So it's just a little mindset, but sometimes we get so narrowed in on what is valuable because we don't have our own self-value. Remember, I'm not good enough?
Yeah.
Runs the gamut. Marketing knows that we feel that way. So they say, oh, well, your teeth aren't white enough, or you're not skinny enough, or you're not whatever enough. So buy our stuff and you will feel better. For the moment, you do. Only a second. Then what's going on? So she's got this programming, skinny is beautiful, and I'm not valuable unless I'm skinny. I'm not desirable unless I'm skinny. So she's got this whole thing going on because of these 10 pounds.
And that's totally not where he was coming
Totally not where he is. He thinks she's hot and he's confused about all of her behavior. So if she would come and get some help, come see me, go to Jamie, go get some help. Just talk to somebody and say, I'm not feeling okay. I'm freaking out right now. And then he can go, honey, I keep asking you every time, what's the matter with you? Now, can you just tell me what's the matter with you? Because you're acting cray-cray. She'll go, well, he's like, why are you criticizing me? So he'll call her out. If you just call out, or any partner, right? It doesn't have to be male, lady. It could be whatever. Call out your partner and say to them exactly, remember you criticized me about this, that, and the other thing, and be specific. So she'll have to, so this part will go, oh, she's talking about me. She's talking about me. So out their behavior and then it's focusing on their parts. But talk to their higher soul. Talk to them as a loved one. Don't talk to this part because you're just going to get a fight, right? Definitely don't talk to this part when it's up roaring in your face. You will get nowhere because that's not her. So don't talk to her when this part's roaring. You won't get anywhere. So wait, just give it a second. Wait till this part kind of goes away and then talk about that part to her higher soul. Then she will not be that part and go, yeah, I got that part. Good, now you called this part out. Gone. And then, tell me.
Talking to the higher soul.
Yes.
That was fabulous. So is there a different tone of voice? Is there a different set of words or language? Do we just instinctively know how to do it when it's gone? Like,
Great
how's
question.
that look?
I love talking to you. I love great questions. Okay, so in order for him to talk to her higher soul, he has to get into his higher soul.
Ooh.
So this guy's like, oh, I'm so confused. I don't know what's going on. So he's like, hey, confusion's not my natural state. Let me not be in here. I'm going to go to the beach because he likes the beach.
Obviously.
I'm going to go to the beach and get centered. He's going to do whatever he can to get centered. So he's going to become as close to his true self as possible. And then he's going to be in his true self and he's going to come from his true self. And he's going to talk to her true self. Now, while she's in the middle of a shopping spree, not a good idea because this part's taking over.
Right, so when he's in higher self, but shopping is in between them,
Right.
that's what it's going to hit.
Exactly.
Okay.
So he has to wait for a moment when all these parts are quiet.
Is that when she's sleeping?
Yeah.
Honey, get up.
I've got something to talk to you.
I got to talk to you right now.
So it is around sleeping. It's first thing in the morning.
Really?
Yes. Like a Saturday, Sunday morning where they don't have to run and go to work and be worker people. And because that's not when we're our true self. When we're at work, we're work, right? So that's not who we truly are. We're just being a worker. When our true self is first thing in the morning, that's why it's lovely to meditate first thing in the morning.
Oh, that's my
Or do
favorite.
our spiritual practice. Me too. Or at night, if these parts haven't been too busy and it's time like to put the day away, after making love is another perfect time.
Oh, hello. All those endorphins are in the right place.
That's right, because we're wide open. Energetically, we're wide open. We feel good. We feel relaxed, calm. And then it would be like, sweetheart, and then you kind of say, I've noticed this part. I've noticed you've been shopping like crazy. I noticed, sometimes you're not talking to me the way you used to do. And then she can say, sweetheart, usually in a puddle of tears. Women tend to be very emotional, and that's just the way we're designed. So thank goodness you guys are not as emotional as we are, because you can hold space for us while we're having the meltdown. So she can, in her meltdown, cry and say, I've gained 10 pounds. I feel so fat. And he'll go,
addresses the elephant in the room.
finally, after all of this. She could have said it first thing, but no, we have to have all of this drama. Okay, honey, I feel fat and ugly and I feel unattractive. And he'll go, what? You crazy? I think you're hot. And then don't just say, I think you're hot. You're going to have to do like 3 chapters of how hot she thinks. Because she's not going to be convinced, because this thing has really been convincing to her. Fat, ugly, you are fat and ugly. Every time she looks in the mirror, fat and ugly. Every time she tries a new dress on, fat and ugly. Every time she tries an old dress on, fat and ugly. So he has to say, you're so hot, you're so sexy, I love your skin, I love your lips, I love your hair, I love your smell. Like, he has to tell her all the things that make him feel hot and sexy towards her. And she'll go, oh yeah, I do smell nice. Oh, I do. Oh, and I have Barbie hair. Look at me, I'm so cool. So then he will just convince her that this is not a problem for him. It's her problem, but keep it out of their relationship, because he likes feeling this way about her, and she definitely likes being felt this way.
Yeah, and she probably loved hearing those 3 chapters right there.
Yeah. We need a lot of women, I'm sorry, gentlemen, but we need a lot of support, emotional support, because, listen, we have probably more parts than you guys do. Your parts tend to be stronger, like more deep-rooted, but women just tend to have like these piles and piles of parts around. We're just emotional beings, so that's kind of how it is. So that's one scenario.
Hey, Lumineers, put your fingers to the keyboard. Let us know what you're thinking. If you have questions, we're going to start engaging with them and what Ursula's sharing. I am so entertained. I do have one question.
Tell me.
Okay. So Ken here went to the beach because that's his Zen Zone. So if your Zen Zone is driving a car, that's what you go do. If it's kayaking, that's what you do. If it's petting the dog, that's what
Dancing.
you do. Dancing, singing, meditating. Great. So it's just from that natural state of being centered, that when you begin to communicate in that state of being, that it's pulling in higher self and...
Yeah, we've plugged in. It's like we plug into life force energy.
But that's doable.
It's totally doable.
That's doable. That's
Listen,
not like...
If you do a lot of spiritual practice, whatever that is for you, riding a bicycle, it doesn't have to be sitting and meditating. It doesn't have to be going to retreats. It doesn't have to be silent for 10 days. It doesn't have to be any of the hard stuff that you and I love to do, okay? I love doing that stuff. But the more time we spend in our Zen zone, the less likely these parts can get into our head and start messing with us, and therefore ruining communication with others.
But I'm just so enjoying the fact right now that the Zen Zone is something that's so achievable.
Yes.
And like, you're asking us to remove the belief system that we need the therapist for 5 years,
Right.
or 6 years, or 3 times a week, or
It's
whatever.
a level
That
of honesty.
it's something that you really can go and generate. Like, we can self-heal. We
Yes,
can
for sure.
self-do this.
For sure. Yeah, when I work with clients, I don't enable them, I empower them.
That's amazing.
I know.
Do we have any questions?
Well, Shelley was asking why Ken doesn't have any issues.
That's in that scenario. That's in the 10-pound scenario, okay?
So I thought maybe we'd be covering that later.
Yeah.
So you mentioned before, it's before we started rolling the cameras, that you had 3 kind of scenarios or
Yes.
topics that you wanted to share about relationships and their parts.
Mhm.
Can
You ready
give
for
us-
the next one?
Yeah, can you give us
Okay.
an overview?
The next one is the withholding of sex. This is a mature audience because it's Facebook and all the children are at school right now. So
I'm seeing hearts flying across the screen. Mature, that must be me. Or was it sex? Yeah, that must be me.
So Ken loves sports. Okay, he is Mr. Sports. This is his sports thing, big. That's why I just did it. So he loves sports. He loves anything to do with basketball, baseball, football, soccer. He just loves sports.
Good job, Ken.
And he's always been like that. You know why? Because his father was like that, and his grandfather and his mother's side was like that. And sports is about community and connection and life force energy. He doesn't think it that way, but he just knows he loves sports. But if you take a look at it, why this man loves sports, it's because he feels connected. He feels powerful. He feels a part of a team, a part of a community. And these are things important to us as people. But as men, those things are very important. They're in the core issue department. So sports satisfies those needs. So here's Barbie, and when she met Ken, he loves sports. And she's like, oh, he's such a dude. So she likes that about him. But they get into a relationship, and she doesn't have her stuff that has the equivalent need satisfaction. She doesn't have a community. She doesn't do needlepoint or crochet. Like, she doesn't have her world. So her world is Ken. But Ken has his satisfaction here. So she gets all insecure, like she's waving in the wind, like she can't figure out what to do with herself when Ken's not around being his sports guy. So she starts saying, you know, Ken, rah, 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 nag, nag, nag. And it's like, oh, I hate when women nag because it's so embarrassing to our gender.
This is a good pitch for women in general. No, I'm just kidding. These examples are extremely real.
They're real.
You can take them in so many different ways. It
Right.
doesn't have to be the exact 10 pounds.
Exactly.
It can be something else.
Anything.
You know?
Anything. Good
This is-
to say that.
Yeah.
So this is her nagger. I'm lonely, I'm feeling insecure, and he doesn't love me, and I'm going to have to vie for attention. So this is her insecurity that says, I know what to do. Let's nag him. That'll work. Ladies, nagging does not work. It only annoys the poor man.
Is this the same scenario? Like, some people aren't happy, they're just disgruntled. And they're not going to find joy until the person they're with is disgruntled. And they're like, oh no, I'm fine. I have no idea what.
Yes.
You're like, wait a second, now I'm pissed and disgruntled and you're okay?
Yes.
Is this similar?
Very good, very good. So her naggy, disgruntled, unhappy things starts messing with him. And he's like, oh, she's nagging me. Ah, she's making me miserable. Ah, guess what, ladies? This doesn't work because what happens, and mind you, it's not only ladies, right? It could be reversed. It could be same-sex couple. It could be mother-father, mother-daughter. Like, it doesn't matter. We're just using these two guys, but you can layer this out into your reality.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Just like you said. So then her naggy da-la-la gets him going, oh my God, I can't stand to be around her. So guess what? The nagging never works because he and his sports, he just like, I'm out of here. Yes, honey. That's the yes, dear thing. Oh, I feel so bad for couples when there's a yes, dear person. Mm-mm. It's because this one has gotten them so closed up and so pushed away that they turn into yes, dear. I'm just going to say yes, dear, because I can't engage with you. There's some part in between us. My higher soul is so turned off from your higher soul that I don't even know who you are. I don't even want you in my life. But I'm just going to say, yes, dear. So then this happens. Now she feels more isolated because now there's two parts in between them.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. So she's got another great, brilliant idea. She's not going to have sex. She's just going to say, nope, I don't feel like it. Bang. So there. And he's like, what? Men need sex. Like, women need to get their nails done. Men need sex. Like, they just do. Like, we can take it or leave it. We like it. But, like, it's not like a breath of air. For them, sex is a breath of air. So then they get a little like, rah, I'm not having sex, rah. So they're a little mean at work. You know, they're not showing up for their friends. They feel crabby and disgruntled and shut down. So now he's got a whole bunch going on, and she's like, no sex. Now look at the mess. Look at the mess.
I'm really regretting that the camera's not showing Colleen.
Colleen,
She's holding it together. She's laughing. Yes, what the crazy.
it's crazy.
When you talk about it like this, and you can clearly see when, the separator, the divider is popping up, it makes it look so, I don't know, trivial, elementary school. But I swear to God, Ursula, when we're in it, it doesn't feel like this.
No.
I wouldn't say I would know that that's happening.
No, she feels very righteous. Like, I'm not having sex. No. He can't talk to me. He can't pay attention to me. I don't know what's wrong with him. In the meantime, his parts get worse and worse. He gets further and further away from any kind of true relationship. She continues to feel insecure and isolated. So she's got two parts here, and she's on lockdown. Sweetheart, what's the matter? Nothing. I'm fine. Right? Like what you said. Because her misery has been projecting on him, and then he can't communicate it back to him, so now he owns it, and he feels bad. He doesn't even know why he feels bad.
But he's feeling bad.
He's feeling bad. He knows he's feeling bad. He's showing up at work like a monster. He's letting his I'm not having sex out on all of his employees and customers and competition.
Hey, Ken, there is masturbation. Just thought I'd let you know.
It's not the same as with his lady.
No, you're right. It's not the
same.
It's the connection that's gone sour.
Yes, it's gone. Look, there's a big divider. There's a big ocean of emptiness.
Okay.
And the longer this exists, that thing turns into a cavern, and you can't even jump across it anymore. It really divides the couple and the beautiful connection that they both want. Everybody wants to love and be loved.
Can this turn into a belief?
Yeah.
And then
Yes.
actual divorce and
There are a lot of couples out there who don't have sex anymore because of this right here.
does this surprise package that you're going to send out have anything to do with engaging in sex back into our lives yet?
No.
I'll find out what it is. I'm just kidding. But in looking at this, when people come to you, you've seen this pattern before. I mean,
Yeah.
it's such a beautiful way of describing it. What kind of insight are you providing to them?
So if she comes in, because usually women will come in, they'll be like, something's not right, I need help. So we're more social gender. So we will be more inclined to go ask another female for help. Like, hey, what do I do? And then that female says, oh, go see Ursula, or go see this, or go do the meditation, or go get help. And the men will be like, this is just the way it is. I'll deal with it. Because sometimes life is just the way it is. If you look historically, when we were nomadic people and there was no food around and the river's starting to dry up, he's not going to go to a therapist. He's going to go, oh, this is the way it is. We're going to have to make a change. So he will get together with his friends and his buddies, and they'll figure something out, and they'll go save the day. So he's trying to figure things out. And he just goes to do more sports because that's what he knows and that's where he feels good. So he spends more and more time going to his sports and less time with her because she's just disengaged and all he can do is say, yes, dear. Years can go by in this scenario.
Whoa.
Yes.
Decades, probably.
Decades could, yeah. And then people just say, then the belief is, well, that's how it is after you've been married for a while.
No, that's not how it is.
That's not how it is. It doesn't have to be.
No,
that's another. You said, is that a belief? Yes. Then this whole scenario is a belief that that's the way it is. It's not the way it is.
Oh my goodness.
So the deal is somebody has to find out what's going on here, either him or her. So sometimes the lady will come in and she'll go, oh, but what about him? And we'll okay, well, if he wants to come in, he can come in. But in the meantime, let's fix up you. So you can be free to be your true self, and then you can be more honest, and then he doesn't have to deal with this or this, and then you guys can address just this and this. The deal, the beginning of the story is she doesn't have something like that in her life to match what he does.
Right.
So now she can find some lovely thing, like she likes yoga now. And she wants to be a yoga instructor. And now she does yoga. It saved the day. And then he doesn't have to be like that. They don't mind having sex because now she's fine and he's fine. And then when they get together, they can...
That's a sport in and of itself, right there.
That's right.
The hippo.
Right. But that's the no sex part. So we want to put the sex part in there. Yeah, there we go.
That's nice.
There. Isn't that cleaner?
Much cleaner.
And again, no communication.
You're right.
And she'll say, no communication. Do you know how many times I have asked him to spend more time with me? Ah! Okay? Now,
what's that? The honey-do list and the demands?
yes, and that ends up with the yes, dear.
That's not
He's not listening to me.
authentic communication.
Right. So let's go another layer with sex. So women are like fire. You can't expect to go up to an empty fire pit with just ashes there and ask for sex. Like, heat doesn't come from ashes. So a man has to get the kindling, get the pine straw, get the pine cones, put the logs on, put the logs on, get the air circulating, and he needs to keep the fire going. And then he can expect heat. Okay? So men are just like, hey, this is an instant world. We can get whatever we want. Instagram, push this button, get money out of a machine. Do this, do that. Everything's so fast. But in the world of relationship, we've been having relationships for thousands of years. So there is a way of relationships.
Yes.
So we can't just be like, hey, woman, I want to have sex. It's like, that's another kind of girl. But if you're in a relationship with this girl, then you have to keep the fire burning. You have to give her a honey, your hair is so pretty today. Oh, that makes her happy.
3 chapters, please.
That's right. So when he keeps the fire going and keeps everything stoked, gives her compliments, touches her, takes time for her, the 5 languages of love, right? Learn your 5 languages of love. Find out what your partner likes. Give it to her a lot and keep her warm.
All right, stop there because I think many of us have not heard 5 languages of love.
Okay, do you know them?
Not by heart.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Do you want to tell your viewers about the 5 languages of love?
No, I'm waiting
Okay,
for you.
here it is. 5 languages of
I
love.
want it more direct.
Okay.
A loop.
I don't know the author, but I do know the practice.
Yeah,
Do you
and
know the
it's
author?
online. You can research it.
Right.
We'll
5 languages.
Colin
5
will
love
put it in the
languages, I
Yes,
believe, is the
5
name of
love
the book.
languages.
And that says that each person has a way that they give and receive love. It's kind of an auto default, mostly basically from their family. So if Barbie was raised, say, Italian, because I'm Italian and that's how we are, affectionate. So they're affectionate people and they're always cuddling and kissing and to the cheek and there's a lot of touch going on. So they're affectionate people. So when she is associating herself with love, touch is very important to her. He could give her a gift and she'll be like, what's this cheap thing made in China? I don't want this. I want to be touched.
Called out.
So in his world, maybe gifts were the way that they showed each other love. Mm-hmm. Dad and mom are working, they don't have a lot to do, but they give gifts. You want a game, you want a this, you want a video, you want a bike, you want a whatever. So they shower him with gifts, kind of out of their guilt because they're not home. So they're like, here's a gift, kid, I love you. So in his world, gifts mean something about love. So he's giving her gifts and not touching her because they didn't touch a lot because mom and dad weren't even home. When she gets gifts, it's meaningless. But when she feels touched, oh, now that's for real. So those are 2 languages of love. One is gift giving, one is touch, one is words of affirmation. Gee, honey, you look so pretty today. Like that can go, I tell ya, it seems so trite in this person's world.
Oh, wait, even if it's just written on a Post-it note and like hidden under a pillow or under a layer of toilet paper in your bathroom and they scroll down the toilet paper and find a little Post-it that says
That's
words
meaningful.
of love is like,
Meaningful, so
Amazing.
meaningful, amazing. And he'll be like, it was a Post-it.
yeah.
And she'll be like, oh, honey.
Our love is renewed.
Yes. So words of affirmation, touch, gifts, time. is very important, especially in today's world. So if somebody wants a lot of time in this busy, busy, busy world, the partner has to really carve out time if this relationship is important to them. He has to make that a priority in his life in order to stay connected. Happy woman, happy household. And the last one is acts of service. So the whole, would you take the garbage out? She's not asking to take the garbage. She's strong. She goes to the gym. She lifts 20 pounds at a time. She can take the garbage out. But she's asking him, will you do this act of service to show me that you love and appreciate all the cooking that I've been doing, or all the stuff that has happened in the kitchen to make the garbage a garbage. I just want you to participate in our life by showing me an act of service and appreciation. You taking the garbage out actually means I feel appreciated.
Isn't that awesome, guys?
But we don't ask for it that way. We just say, that doesn't go very far. That's not the same as saying, Ken, sweetheart, when you take the garbage out, it's so meaningful for me. I really appreciate it so much. It shows me that you respect.
And just a little bit more communication along with it.
That's it. That's all. Genuine communication.
Personal honesty.
That'd be nice.
I like that. Was a good rant to have. Because, guys, if you haven't heard of this, it's a great kind of peel off. And then go back to Ursula's website. So I didn't mean to shut you down. You were talking about...
No, that's kind of concluding this idea of the, withholding sex and how well that works. Because it doesn't work.
It doesn't work very well.
No, it's a separation, and our need to love and be loved is not fulfilled.
I had a question from Amy, and I'm trying to find it here. She was talking about, is it ever warranted not for a woman/man to withhold sex, but for the cavern between a couple, particularly when one party isn't ever willing to openly communicate their own elephants, or own their own elephants?
It's hard, right? So if one person has all of these parts, this is unfortunately the way that happens. So they're a couple, everything's normal, and then we grow. In the world of coupleship, we think we're supposed to be exactly the same all the time. No, if you got married in your 20s and now you're 40, hopefully you better be a different person. If not, you're about to burst. And that happens often.
Midlife crisis kind of a thing.
Exactly. So someone grows apart and then they like spirituality. And this person is like, no, we don't. I've got my beer, I've got this, I've got that. Like, I'm still living in the 1980s. I don't know where you're going. So she says, wow, I love this, but I love you too. But, this is taking me to a new path, a new way. Like, why can't he do this? And like Amy's asking about this cavern that starts growing between the couple. And it's for her to take a very good look and say, okay, what does this relationship mean to you? Where's the value? On your spiritual path, can you move into acceptance for who he is, how he is? He doesn't want to change. You've invited him to every yoga class you've gone on, and he's not into it. And he's like, look, I'm not willing to change. I don't need to change. I am happy here. So it's for this spiritual person. Oh yeah, you're so spiritual? Can't you accept how this person is and the way they are? And be at peace with it and understand that he's not going on this journey with you? That's the test. So the warrant of this gap between the two of you, that's okay. Or this person may say, no, you're holding me back. You're living in the past. I can't vibe with that. I can't talk to you when you're drinking. I don't know like who you really are, because I'm noticing a lot of parts, because I've been getting rid of my parts and I'm down to, just my basic 10 parts instead of your 20 parts, because with the purification, right? We got to get rid of our parts. They all come up and they go away, and we start learning about them and we love them. And by the way, I want to give credit to my teacher, Dick Schwartz, to Internal Family Systems. He's the one who taught me this model, and I've taken all the classes, and this is the session work that I do with people. It's amazing, amazing, amazing.
I like there's so many parallels when I do readings with people and their guides come in. You know, there's questions of, do I stay married? Or I'm miserable, I want a divorce, but I don't know how to leave. And the conversation from their guides turns around into, really, even though it's looking like this right now, where he has all of this stuff, or she does, there's still an amazing, intense, great love and soul connection and past lives and everything. And that's why there's this huge struggle of, I can't leave, but I want to. And the way they talk to the client, the sitter, about how to energetically reconnect, like there's so many parallels of how you're talking about it.
That's right.
Because not every situation like this has to go straight into separation and divorce.
No.
More so than not, it's about reconnecting
Yes.
and getting it all like back over and better.
Because the higher soul.
Yeah.
They're still in there.
They're still in there.
They're still in there, regardless of activities and interests. They're still in there, and they were brought together by divine nature. People love to ask, oh, how did you two meet? And there's always some little wacky story of how a couple came together.
Yep.
To me, wacky stories are the signature of God. Because there's no way, like, what are the odds that this happened, and then that happened? Like, that's not normal. And that tells me, oh, there was an interplay of God. That's like oh, God was there. Look at all these beating the odds of the circumstance happening. When a couple is together, they're typically together by divine union. And sometimes a divorce is a part of their scenario.
Yes. Yeah.
An awful divorce is not usually a part of their scenario.
Correct.
So now you have the world of divorce. So she wants a divorce because he's stuck and she's free to fly. So she has to get her attitude towards him in a loving, accepting way. I love and accept you. You're a great person. I appreciate the time we've spent together, the children we've created together. You're a good man. You provide, and I respect all of your parts. And I have to go. Namaste. So she has to lovingly be able to leave him and make sure that he's in a place of love towards her before she splits.
Yes.
Now that's another
good
scenario
balanced responsibility.
Of how the spiritual person kind of leaves a relationship in a loving, kind way, because they will always be a family if they have children together. This part separates, but if they have children together, that's a family unit that is eternal. In this lifetime, it's going to continue.
It's definitely a mixed family.
Yeah.
That's all that is happening.
Interspecies,
mixed family. So I know our time is running short, but you had one more example that you wanted
Yes,
to
we
give?
could do death.
So Lumineers, I know if you're sitting at work, at home, or kicked back in your bed and you don't have the time for it, I'm sending you much love and gratitude. Thank you so much. But I am going to hang in there with Ursula because I'd like to hear this next one.
Okay, I'll make this short and sweet. So, who do you want to die?
Oh,
Pick one. Pick a card, any card.
I don't have anybody I want to die.
Okay. Well,
Can we make up somebody?
just one of these two. You got a 50-50 call.
Oh,
right
I have
here.
a 50-50 call.
Yeah,
I
like
think
anybody.
Ken should
Just
die.
pick
Oh, Ken's going to die. Colleen picked.
Ken? Okay. Ken, you have evolved and you get to go home. Yay! All right, so now this is now another couple, and they don't have many parts. They're very loving. They're soul to soul, they're heart to heart, love and adore. They've been together for, 30 years.
And so, of course, she makes this the example where one has to die.
That's where it's painful.
It's awful.
I know.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, we're going for it.
Okay. So he's like, yay, I get to go home. Mwah. Bye, sweetheart. So he goes to heaven.
Speak to you later, Ken.
Yeah. And she's like, Jamie! Okay. So she's like, oh! Because, they're so connected. Energetically, emotionally, historically. They've got connection. And now it's gone. He's gone. He's physically gone. She is drowning in loss, regret. Maybe she should have loved him more. Maybe she could have done something to not let that cancer come and eat him to death. And she's got such a heavy heart, heavy hippo heart. Oh, so heavy. And she's depressed. What am I going to do without him? I'm nothing without him. oh my God. She feels terribly lonely, like disgustingly lonely. She's the only person in this whole wide world now. Everybody else is just like, so it doesn't even matter. Like all the relationships don't even matter. And her friends are like, hey, Barbie, come on, let's go. No, I'm okay. Or she goes and she just sits there. Because all of these parts are really weighing her down. She thinks he's gone for good, he's gone forever. But mind you, we're spiritual beings having a human experience, right?
I tell you, honestly, she looks like a zookeeper.
Wearing a bathing suit.
And having gray hair. So,
yeah, it's definitely having a human experience.
very human. These heavy emotions are bogging her down. And again, this can go on for years. In the meantime, in our consciousness, we know that we're spiritual beings. And we know that he's only physically gone, energetically gone, and love never dies.
Yes.
That's the good news, love never dies. So he's trying to be like, Barbie, I'm here. Sweetheart, I'm still with you. Love exists. We're like, sweetie, yoo-hoo, hi. And he's doing everything he can to penetrate her heavy, dark field. He comes to her in her dreams. He looks like there's a new neighbor that looks just like him. My dad, when he died, I kept seeing mailmen. And I'd be like, what's a mailman doing in the middle of a city block walking down this crowded avenue? Or what's this mailman doing in the grocery store? Or I kept seeing mailmen. I'm like, whatever. I'm sad. My dad's dead. Da, 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 da. And then one day, I was walking down the street, and a mailman that had glasses and a mustache, just like my dad, came right up to me, kind of paused, and then walked around me. And I was like, oh, that was my dad. I know it was my dad. Why is he wearing a mailman suit? And then I was like, why is my dad wearing a mailman suit? And I realized that when I was born, my father was a mailman. I had never really seen him in the outfit or remembered him in the outfit, but he was in heaven going, how can I, what can I, whatever, mailman, so that's how he kept appearing to me as a mailman. And then once I saw that mailman with the glasses and mustache, I was like, wow, he's still around. So that's the deal, right? But what happens is this person is like, hello, I'm still here, I love you. But she cannot receive him because these things are holding her down. But she thinks, this is all I have left of my beloved Ken.
Oh, yes. Hold on to it, honey.
Don't. She can't. Because she cannot experience him anymore because these things are in the way. So she has to take the clutch of grief and sadness and loneliness and let it go. And it feels like she too will die. But what will happen is this stuff around her will die. And then they all die out, finally. And then he can be like, I'm here, feel my love. When she's in her Zen Zone, she can totally connect with him.
Oh, yes.
And feel sublime, like in love, and he's cleaner now. He got cleaned up. He went to heaven, he got cleaned up, all of his ego is gone. So he has even a greater love to share with her.
Yeah, he probably got a shirt in heaven, too.
Maybe a better haircut.
Or maybe he lost his pants.
So
If
that's,
you couldn't hear Colleen, Colleen said maybe he lost his pants.
you don't need pants in
You
heaven.
don't. You don't.
Is that a book?
You don't need pants.
Is
in
that the
heaven.
book you're
You
working
could
on?
write that one. I'm not going to write that one.
That's-
You like that.
I like the giraffe.
Okay. So what are you thinking?
I'm so much. A lot of it's kind of dirty because she mentioned.
Okay,
pendant
well,
of-
let's
yes.
not ask that question
But
then.
no, just thinking about no matter what the circumstances, whatever you're approaching, be it common day, physical, mental, emotional, or extraordinary, all the things that you put in place, you're clearly saying, we're doing it thinking we're really taking care of ourselves, that we're problem solving it, and we're figuring it out. Or we're doing it thinking that we're taking a risk to get a new answer, and it's not. So what I'm hearing is that we really need some check-in process with an external resource, and that's where that good communication comes in. And good communication, like you kept saying, relies on being
Honest.
Brutally, vulnerably,
Brutally, yeah.
honest with
Yeah.
self
Yeah.
so that you could talk to others about it.
Yes.
And I want to remind Lumineers, when you find that moment of being brutally honest and vulnerable, it is not a weak moment. It's not a moment
Strength.
of destruction. Right. It's a really amazing moment of power and muscle, and then you realize, oh my God, this whole time I thought if I opened my mouth I'd get torn apart, ripped to shreds, and all of a sudden it's like, there I am, naked as a jaybird in the middle of the city. I'm totally okay.
Yeah.
I'm better than ever.
It's so beautiful.
That's what you are helping people with.
Yeah.
Lumineers, I mean, if you're sitting here listening to this and you're like, wait a second, I want to have good communication. I want to reach out. Like, these are the things that Ursula does individually with people. Like, head to her website, just research it, just start the ball rolling. I mean, you may find that you're not following up on it later, but it might be in the next month or 3 months where you're like, that's it, it's happening. And then you have your resource sitting there ready for you to go to. I can't thank you guys enough for being here, and especially you with this. This has to be one of my favorite episodes, Ursula.
Thank you.
God, it just gets better and better.
And don't forget, please go to my Facebook page
Yes.
and give me your email, and I will be sending you a free gift.
You want the gift. I'm going to
Ursula.
find out what it is.
Ursula Lentine.
We have it all spelled out right below in the threads here, and we'll also have it under the description of the video. Is there a deadline on that and getting the email to?
If it's after today, then write, can I have the free gift? And then give your email.
There you go. Today's date. That is it. You have today. Do it now. Thank you, Lumineers. And remember, it's not woo-woo. It's
True.
Then they agree.